to the Cinementalists. Noun, plural. Definition, those whose love for movies runs so deep, they can't help but do a podcast about them. Hosted by Colton Robertson and Joseph George. Hello everybody and welcome in to the Cinementalists. Today we continue our top 100 favorite films of the 2020s. This is part 4, the 60s. We'll be working from number 69 of 100 up to 60, and I'm looking very, very forward to it. Sorry for the little gap between part 3 and 4. If you are, I just know a few of you were just dying waiting for the fourth part. I know we said, oh, it's readily available, but it wasn't readily available. What are you going to do? I don't know. It's here now. Relax. You can lay to rest. I'm Colton Robertson. I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up? Always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. Glad you're feeling better. Glad you're ready to hop on the mic here and do a little top 100 with me. How are you feeling about the list you've got today?
Oh, yeah. No, the cold brought a little cold along with it, but it seems to be on the way out, finally, and the brain is functioning again. But, yeah, glad to be back on the movie grind. This is where they start to get good here. And I don't like. At least I start to like these movies, and there's still some gripes that I have with them. That's for sure down here in these ones. But I don't know. These ones they do start to get more fun. I think here it's so yeah. I don't know. I'm starting to feel a lot better with these ones. But,
you got any more blind spots in mind for one you want to throw out here where you're like, damn, I really wish I could have gotten around to that before we did this project?
Yes. One that I saw the trailer for in the theater, and I think it was an IMAX. I mean, it just looked beautiful. And the movie's, it's called Perfect Days. It feels like it just would, I don't know, it feels perfect, and just soothing, or I don't know. It could be devastating. I could be crying my heart out, but at least it looked cinematic as hell. And I really wanted to see that.
Oh, it'll be brought up. It'll be brought up in a couple weeks. It's a late in the game one for me. I adore that movie, so that's a great pull there. Definitely one worth getting around to, no matter what, even if it can't be implemented into this list. I love Wim Wenders as a filmmaker, so you'll dig that one a lot. I know you will. But I actually wanted to give a little shout to one I did watch but cannot slot in. We're too late now, it's too far gone. I saw it. Can't slot it in. It might have slotted in. Hard to say. Who am I kidding? It probably would have. I want to talk about Wallace and Gromit: Vengeance Most Foul.
Hell yeah.
I fucking loved that movie. I thought it was so goddamn cute. I'm a sucker for Wallace and Gromit. I remember my aunt took me to see The Curse of the Were-Rabbit in theaters when I was real fucking young. Scarred me for life. And that was that. And this was the first time I've engaged with Wallace and Gromit since. So I have a fond memory now looking back with Wallace and Gromit. And, I'm a big Aardman Studios fan. I really enjoy the stuff that they do, the art of their creation. It's really, really strong. So, Wallace and Gromit: Vengeance Most Foul probably would have been in the top 100. Probably. But a little too late to enter it now. So, if you are ready, we can go ahead and kick off the 60s with your 69.
All right, nice. Didn't mean for this to happen. Just kind of worked it out this way. 69 is from one of my favorite just artists that usually is not in the movie game. He's but it's just a little project he released or worked on. I guess he didn't direct it. It's by Fletcher Mules or Mualis, something. But it's intergalactic, and definitely. I don't know. I did like the animation style, and I think, but definitely some of the writing was a little cheesy, and I don't know at some points. But it was just a classic, just romance story of. I don't know. I feel like the way they met was like that the music was too loud or something. They were like apartment neighbors, and he was going over there actually telling them to turn it down or something like that. And then just kind of a slow evolving story from there. And I don't know. I only did watch it the one time whenever it did come out. Me too. And it just was comforting at the time. I don't know. It was really nice. And just from I was gonna love it no matter what. And then I feel like he was just Yeah, he got a lot of his friends. You know, Timothy, he's up in there,
Timothée Chalamet, yeah.
voicing some people. Yeah, I think like Ty Dolla $ign's in there. Jaden Smith, I feel like.
Yeah, they get a little.
in there
Everybody
too.
gets a little love
But
in that movie for sure.
yeah, but I don't know. I liked the animation style and just it was from my boy, so I feel like I had to get it in here somewhere.
Got to give it a little shout.
And yeah, I guess 69 couldn't have been a better place for it to drop.
Nice.
I kind of feel like, but yeah.
I love that. I love that. But my 69 is also animated, and it might be a little low. It's one that I always forget how much I love it until I watch it, and then I watch it, and I'm like, holy shit, I fucking love this movie. And even knowing that, I still put it this low, relatively. 69's where I have Soul, the Pixar Jamie Foxx flick, directed by Pete Docter, a Pixar vet. I mean, this is a lovely movie. The music is fucking gorgeous. Another Reznor and Ross composed music there for Soul. Man. It's gorgeous animation. Some of the prettiest imagery from Pixar movies. I do love it. I'm a big Jamie Foxx fan. He's so talented, and he voiced the shit out of that character. I loved. I'm a big fan of Tina Fey, and she does an incredible job. And just the very premise of the circular nature of life and death, and the existentialism that comes along with it. And Daveed Diggs has a little role in it. It's a fun. I love the movie. I do, and it's always gets me. It does always get me whenever he sits at the piano and the little helicopter leaf is sitting there, and all the stuff that 22 is indulged in, and he remembers it, and he remembers the beauty she saw in the world, and it's good stuff. So Soul, probably if I'd watched this movie last night, it wouldn't be at 69, but I haven't watched it since like last January, I think. So it's here at 69.
Yeah, it is on mine as well. It had to be. I feel like there was a list that we did. I think just top 100 favorite movies in general, and I felt remiss that it wasn't on there. It was one that I couldn't believe I didn't. I just forgot to put on there. So not this time. No. It definitely. It will be on here. But no, I think I agree with you. It's like when I watch it, it's like one of the best just movies that there. I don't know. It's like
it's so heartwarming, man. And it's so comforting. And it was actually just memory wise, it came out December 2020. Me and Emily started dating December 4th, 2020. So like. Okay. It came out really early in our relationship. I remember us watching it together, and that movie's existed for as long as we've been together, and it's kind of like a nice little benchmark for the movie that feels the most close to when we started going, which is cool. I always have a nice association with it for that reason. And then I caught it on the big screen last year when they did the little special Pixar screenings, which was cool. It reminded me again how much I do love the movie. So, every time I watch it, I like it a little more. And then it slips away from me, and then I watch it and I'm like, oh my God, I love it, and so on and so forth. It's an endless cycle with Soul there. But yeah, great movie.
Yeah, we'll get to it a little later in a couple episodes for me, but we'll return to it. But in the meantime, a total switch up here. I had the previous movie to this one. It's still in the Godzilla vein, but it's the newest one, the Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire. And this one, oh my God, was it just kind of meant for me? It felt like I saw this one in the theater, but I mean, it dealt with like pyramids that were inside of the earth that like turned gravity off, basically, and like I mean, it was kind of just this ancient civilization that just blocks were just super easy to lift for them because gravity just wasn't a thing, and like I was just I'm always deep in the pyramid rabbit hole, and this just was like just a really epic sci-fi like kind of twist on it, but also being the kind of new Godzilla movie that I watched all the previous ones for. Like this was what I was just watching all of them to lead up to this theater experience, and I mean they're kind of. I remember the big battles and kind of at least what happened at the end, but the little like intricacies of the movie, I kind of they just kind of forgo me a little bit. But like this one was at least cool because just it was Godzilla and Kong and like way more teaming up just to fight this one mega. I don't even know what it was called or what it is, but it was. I don't know. It was this pure Armageddon scene of the world
Fuck
was
yeah.
basically going to end, but then I don't know. They found peace between themselves, and they could. I don't know. The lore got so deep. It was kind of a little bit more than I was wanting from just a Godzilla and big
Right.
monster movie. But I don't know. It was fun for the theater, and I didn't see it in 3D. I don't think. Maybe I did actually. Maybe this was like the test. I think that is. I'm remembering that.
Yeah,
now. I was
I'm
wanted to
pretty
test,
sure you did see it in 3D.
Yeah.
I
And
think
I feel like it was
it was right around that
later.
time. Yeah, that's why I'm like, I can't remember why, but that was the reason. You wanted to see something else in 3D, but you weren't sure. And yeah, it's gone for me. We'll probably happen upon it, I'm assuming, if we ever if you ever did end up watching it.
Yeah, most likely. And it was probably better than Kong. I'm assuming if I was like, this was the trial run, then yeah, that had to have been the best. Maybe Furiosa. Maybe it was, we were going to see, because it was a movie that we were going to see together, and you were like, you don't like because you wear glasses, and I didn't think
glasses,
about that. I'm like,
I wear glasses. Yeah, it was definitely Furiosa, so that didn't end up happening. That's right. Okay. Glad we figured that out. That was 100% what it was.
We will get there. Definitely.
100%
for Furiosa.
Yes,
So
for both of us, yeah.
But I guess 3D. It was okay. I don't think it really enhances a movie a whole lot, but at least I don't know. Maybe my immersion. Maybe I was just more immersed, but didn't quite realize it. But at least I don't remember anything quite crazy with the 3D or anything that stuck with me. But yeah, I guess that's kind of why it's down here, kind of at 68. It was fun in a spectacle, that's for sure. But yeah, I don't know. It's about all I can say for good old Kong or Godzilla X Kong.
Beautiful.
Godzilla and Kong X. I still don't know.
By Kong,
X,
I don't know.
It's
always been an interesting title for a movie. It looks cool, but when you read it, you start to go, I don't know what you mean. But regardless, it works. It's fine. All right, my 68, and this is tough. This is one that I remember liking a lot, but I've only watched it once. So if I watched it again, maybe it'd be higher. If I watched it again, I don't think it'd be lower, but maybe it could be. I don't know. But this is where I'm feeling it right now. Probably almost 2 years removed now. This is where I have Shiva Baby, directed by Emma Seligman, starring Rachel Sennett, Molly Gordon. It is quite the tight 90. It's not even tight 80. It's like an hour and 15 minutes or something like that. It's a quick movie. And the premise is that Rachel Sennett's character attends a Shiva, which is, I mean, I'm simplifying like crazy, but if you don't know, it's like a Jewish funeral, Jewish wake almost. And she attends and she runs into her sugar daddy. And her sugar daddy is married with a kid, which she doesn't know. And the whole time, her parents are trying to hook her up with a job with this guy, and this guy actually knows her, but they have to act like they don't know each other. And she's really self-destructive, and she also kind of wants to ruin his life, but no, she shouldn't. And it's kind of it's really, really complicated. It's really anxiety-inducing. It's also really funny. There's a lot of emotions packed in to this really tight 75 minutes, and it's a good fucking movie. It's on Netflix right now if you want to watch it. And like I said, at an hour and 15 minutes, it's a really good way to spend an hour and 15 minutes. And I'm a big fan of Rachel Sennett. I'm a big fan of Molly Gordon. And this is not the last Emma Seligman movie I have on my list. In fact, the next one will be another from her. So there we go. That's I got Shiva Baby at 68.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. The movies it's like a barreling down towards a train, or I don't know, an almost train wreck. That's
100%.
Yes,
like you're oh, something bad is going to happen, and it might not be somebody's dying or anything like that. It's just like, ooh, there is a lot of tension here. Something's got to give, and that's what this movie is. She makes one of the funniest, dumbest decisions I've ever watched in a movie. Just like, oh no, honey, no. But it's so good. It's so good. I love that movie. So Shiva Baby at 68.
All right. Well, moving on here is I feel like it got a lot of mixed reviews, but I feel like all of the movies involving this person or character, really. This is Blonde, 2022, Anna de Armas's take on Marilyn Monroe. And I guess at first I thought too that this was just going to be like a document or like a biopic and more true to life. But I guess there was just it was just fiction. They just kind of, but fiction kind of somewhat true to her life as well, like just situations she would find herself in, and stuff like that. But I remember it just kind of being like sad, and like a lot of like it just did not go well for her. And maybe
she led a really, really sad life. A lot of women stars of the time did.
Mm-hmm. And I think it was just to highlight that, like just the turmoil and like having to put on the fake smile and everything like that. But I didn't really remember much good.
Happy birthday, Mr. President.
Yeah, to be, I don't know, just that like you just, I guess she could turn it off, I guess, and not be noticed on the street and stuff like that, which is crazy. I guess just not, but she can just all of a sudden turn it on and be, crowds of people surrounding, and like,
Marilyn Monroe
that's
was
just
so good. And that's I've never watched that movie because I've heard very mixed things as well. And so, and I love Anna de Armas, which is why, like, I do want to watch it. I love Marilyn Monroe, but because I love Marilyn Monroe, it's kind of like, maybe I don't want to watch it. That's kind of where I'm at. At least that's what I've heard from people. And there's no way to know until you watch it. So, like, I'll probably eventually get around to it. I've seen shots from it. I've seen visuals. It's a very pretty movie. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Adrian Brody's in there too, and I don't know. I've grown to like him.
Dude,
way more and more. So he's always good. So I mean, yeah, it's not like I wouldn't be itching to get to it again, or I don't think I'll even really rewatch it. But it was pretty. It did look good, and Anna de Armas at least, did the best that anyone can do to act like Marilyn Monroe. But that's some big shoes to fill. For sure. So, but for anyone, but no, I mean, she looked like there's screenshots that are like kind of like, whoa, like I feel like I do remember that of like, it wasn't all the time, and like in motion, she kind of didn't really look like her, but there were like there's shots
stills
like
where she looks exactly like her. It's insane.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which on paper doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, thinking of Anna de Armas, I don't think that that person looks like Marilyn Monroe. But yeah, when they do her up like that, and I think it kind of, that also is kind of a little bit of a meta, like it's affecting a character, sort of. Like there's she could become the personality the way Anna de Armas can become the personality, and so on and so forth. Maybe there's something there. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
But I've always been intrigued by it at the very least. So maybe I'll have to get around to it now. I didn't know you had that on here. I didn't know you'd watched that. That's cool.
Yeah, I think it was just on the diary. Like I kind of just went through my diary, made sure that if there was anything of the decade, I sorted by it, and then that's kind of where the start of my list before I even had 100 movies, at the time. So this one was probably just one of those that was like, well, it's not going to be worse than whatever my 90, The Family Plan with Mark Wahlberg.
Right.
So,
you're like, it has to be higher than that. No, I get you.
But yeah.
All right. I love it. Well, my 67 is also, again, directed by Emma Seligman, as she did Shiva Baby. This one is Bottoms, also starring Rachel Sennett. And Iowa Debris and Marshawn Lynch, and just a great cast, a great ensemble. I think this movie is fucking hysterical. Me and Emily have watched it. I don't know how many times. I can tell you how many times. 5. We've watched it 5 times. I forgot I have Letterboxd, and I have that information at the ready. Ruby Cruz, Havana Rose Liu, Kaya Gerber, Nicholas Gallatin. It's so funny. It's it's really cheesy and surreal. There's a little bit of a satire thing going on for sure. It's a little spoofy almost, it feels like. The high school's absolutely ridiculous. Like the principal gets on the intercom at the beginning and is like, "Will the ugly, untalented gays report to the office, and immediately everyone knows they're talking about Rachel Sennett and Iowa Debris, which is very, very funny because those are two very obviously talented, beautiful people. And it's so funny whenever movies do that. You know, the Margot Robbie, like, note to the filmmakers, if you're trying to make this point, these are not the people to do it. It's kind of the same thing with Bottoms. Those are obviously gorgeous people. But, yeah, no, so Marshawn Lynch is fucking hysterical. I love him. I think that he's probably my favorite NFL running back of all time, so the fact that he's transitioned into a career where he's acting is outstanding.
Yeah. He just, you wouldn't think it. I don't know, just watching him play, you wouldn't think he'd be the one to go and like have his personality sort of thing. Just every time I see him off field, it's like crazy.
Fucking funny. He is so funny.
I know.
He seems so intense. But he is just the chillest motherfucker alive, man. And so this movie, it's so funny. Saw it in theaters with Emily, and I think, like I said, we've watched it 5 times. I've watched it 5 times. It's one of those that we pretty much exclusively watch together. It's so funny though. Big time comfort movie. I feel like this got soul, got bottoms. I think I've got 1 or 2 more that I feel like I can define as comfort movies in this episode. So yeah, definitely 3 more, maybe 4 more even. So got a lot of comfort in this episode.
Okay, well this, I'd say it's in the comfort vein. That's for sure. I just maybe not personally to comfort for me, but still really good. It was 2023's Wonka with good old Timmy. Good old Timmy. I mean, I feel like I don't know, dude is just taking over. And I really want to, get through his filmography. A lot of things I just want to see from him. I guess not in the 20s, but The King. I just want to see him in that. I've never seen that quite yet.
I haven't seen that either, but I've heard good things.
But Wonka here, I don't know. It was very comfortable. That's for sure, and a very new take on the story. You know, I guess I didn't really think that every Wonka we've seen, I guess the only 2 movies are like, it's just an older version of him. He's just an old dude in his factory, but we never saw the start
origin story of Willy Wonka.
And probably a whole different. I don't even know if they're all connected or like these are all if they're building the Wonka universe,
the Wonka cinematic universe. Yeah. No, I've heard. I think it's supposed to be the prequel to Gene Wilder's Wonka from the original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I don't know though. I did enjoy the movie thoroughly though. It's not on here. Won't be the last Timmy of this episode either. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Timmy, and I think that this movie was it was a great deal of fun to watch. I'm a big Paul King fan. He's done the Paddingtons, which I love. So I was excited for Wonka, and I mean, yeah, it's a good little musical, man. I can't tell you how often chocolate, oh chocolate, gets stuck in my head. I just that part. But only Wonka's makes your confidence skyrocket. You know, that whole thing. I love it. I'm a big fan. I think Timothée Chalamet's got a lot of charisma, and I think he's full of whimsy there. So it's a lot of fun to watch. He doesn't get to be full of whimsy all the time, and you can tell he wants to be full of whimsy a lot of the time. So it's nice to see him do that.
Yeah, he got his chance to let it out and just be funky, and I don't know, he even had the little revolutionary little spark in there with like
the people rising up against the gluttonous fat asses uptown. I say fat asses because they're full of money.
Yes, full of greed, and literal chocolate was
and
like
also chocolate,
the most valuable resource that they were just hoarding in this vat, or I don't know, this huge.
They try to drown him in a vat of chocolate, which is crazy.
Yeah, like I mean,
I need to give that one another viewing. You know,
it was fun. Yeah,
it's super sweet. Yeah, and that's like I think that when you get super enveloped in the world of movies, where like I'm online. Oh, what was the movie recently where people were like, "God, this is just not very good." I'm like, I don't. Yeah, it could be better, but also like I don't think it's for you strictly. Like it's like obviously a Wonka musical. It has the potential to be a very, very good movie, and it could be a good movie, but it's not going to be a fucking Oscar bait movie. Like it's going to be a fun, family friendly film. Sorry for the alliteration. That came out fly as fuck.
Very Wonka.
Yeah, indeed. Quite so.
I mean, I feel like there's an ant out there that's like, this is my favorite movie. I love this fucking movie. I feel like
it made a ton of fucking money. Kids loved it. So like I think it served its purpose. I think it's cute as hell. And I think that me and you and a lot of other people, I'm not saying that we are unique in this regard, but being able to and pretentious folks hate the term, but it's a real thing. Being able to turn your brain off and just enjoy something is a lot of fun. And Wonka's one of those movies. And even with an active brain, it's actually a enjoyable viewing. It's not like it's a disaster of a film or anything, where some people like to treat it as. But I think it's a great deal of fun. So I like Wonka here.
Yeah, 66. Yeah, we're in a nice comfort. A lot of good. Intergalactic definitely, would be there. Maybe a nice rewatch. A good couple to revisit, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, no doubt. My 66 is Problemista, directed by Julio Torres, also starring Julio Torres, and written by Julio Torres. It also has Tilda Swinton, and this is another one of those comfort movies. I watched it probably halfway through 2024, and was just astonished, man. It's a beautifully, creatively fulfilling film. One of those where if I'm ever stuck in a creative rut where writer's block or artist's block or anything, I can't think of what to draw, I can't think of what to write, whatever. This is a good movie to watch to kind of get the juices flowing. And I mean, it's a lovely movie to look at. It's so much fun. It's so ridiculous. And the premise is that, He's hired to watch over an artist played by RZA, by the way, from the Wu-Tang Clan. He's hired to watch over an artist who is entering a cryo chamber vat that is going to preserve him for 100 years or whatever the fuck, or however many years, and then when he wakes up, maybe his art has aged well and he'll be rich and all this stuff. So like he was basically in a ton of debt and he wanted to avoid it. And legally he couldn't. Genius move. Except Tilda Swinton is his wife, so she also has to deal with the fallout there. So her and Julio Torres' characters, they bond over him being the one who watches over him and all that stuff. It's it's an enjoyable movie, man. And like I said, it's colorful, it's beautiful, and it's heartwarming, man. It's follow your dreams, go get it, make them happen, all that good stuff. Problemista is a lot of fun.
It looked colorful. Was going to be the one word that came to mind. Kind of looking through just some of the shots of it looks very creative. Like there are some shots that are like, whoa, that's not the real world, or like that's some creative. Something creative going on there. Like, I don't know, the stormy, where it looks like they're just in like this huge storm and some clouds or something.
Yeah. Well, and there's also like Alejandro, the main character, is a toy maker. That's his dream. He wants to design toys, and his work visa is expiring, so he has to get a job and all that stuff. And then she ends up hiring him as like an assistant, and yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I don't know. For some reason, the poster reminds me of Pop Tropica for whatever reason.
I see it. Yeah.
I don't know why, but it's just problem-y. It's just a P word as well. I don't know. It was just going off.
I see the vision.
Had to get that one out. I couldn't hold it in any longer. I noticed it right when you said it at the beginning, and I didn't want to say it at the beginning. But
Pop Tropica.
But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, it's out now. I can sleep.
I'm safe.
Night. Yeah. But. Yeah, a completely switch up here. We're killing Nazis now. Is the name of the game. And this was Henry Cavill's way, I don't know, of doing it in 2024, the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. And man, he looked good. Every dude, people were looking good.
Alan
in this movie.
Richson.
Dude, that dude's huge for
Golden
one.
God.
He's like giant, like a Greek. Hercules. I don't know. It was just kind of what he reminded me of, just the whole movie, but the biggest kind of teddy bear, kind of character wise, like in the movie, which is hilarious. But I mean, yeah, whenever they're doing their thing versus the Nazis, it's go time. You know, they're good at that. They're good at taking them out. And this was kind of like a Suicide Squad-esque, like World War II mission that, what's it? Churchill. Yeah, there he is. Needed some guys that really could get the job done and wouldn't, no questions asked sort of thing. And had to be covert.
The fucking deed.
Yeah, it couldn't be known by the public and sort of thing. And then I think, further down the line, they actually called off the mission, or like they didn't want it to happen, but they were like, "Nope, fuck it, we're doing it anyways. We're like, we have this opportunity to kill Nazis. We're gonna do it. We're gonna I forget what the mission kind of was, but all I remember is that there were some creative ass kills. It was really funny, a lot funnier than I thought it was gonna be. But I remember leaving a little, like, wanting a little bit more from the end of it, or just kind of like it left me a little like, man, I thought that was going to be a little bit cooler. But I mean, no, for the time it was very fun. I wonder, did I get this one in the theater? I think I might have.
You did. I believe you did.
Yeah, I think I did go see this one in the theater. But at least I don't know, not as. Nothing memorable, I guess, of it that comes from it. But I don't know. It was very, very fun for the time. It at least got it up here, above Wonka and Godzilla. I had a little bit more fun time. If we're killing Nazis and that's just involved in general, it's gonna be pretty
fun.
Awesome.
That's gonna be fun. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, and a little bit left wanting a little bit more. But
I get that. I get that.
But yeah. That's a good old 65 here for me.
All right, cool. My 65 we actually just caught on the big screen together. My 65 is the third Timothée Chalamet of the episode here in A Complete Unknown, directed by James Mangold. I really, really enjoyed this, man. I think that it's, kind of listless and a little all over the place. And kind of, it almost feels directionless at points. It's subversive, but it works. It works for portraying a figure as elusive and confounding as Bob Dylan. I'm a huge Bob Dylan fan. I've loved his music for years. So this is a movie I was deeply looking forward to. Timothée Chalamet wins you over almost instantly. I feel like it's a really, really great performance by him. I absolutely love the line delivery whenever I think it's Joan. It might be Elle Fanning, who's like, "What are you, God?" And he goes, "How many times do I have to tell you?" Yes, and he kind of giggles at the end. It's so funny. I love it. And I do adore the movie. I've seen some kind of iffy takes for me on Monica Barbaro as Joan Baez and Ed Norton as Pete Seeger, which, they're fair. I don't think this is perfectly capturing the person that Joan Baez was. And it's definitely not capturing the vibe Pete Seeger had. Ed Norton's basically playing Mr. Rogers, kind of approximating the guy who is supposed to be the face of folk, like, oh, we're sweet guys and this is all we do and we love this stuff. Won't you be my neighbor? It's kind of the vibe he's bringing, and it's a lot of fun. I think that, I adored it though. I think that, it really, using his songwriting as the only means of pushing the narrative forward is really, really cool. Like whatever song he's singing, when he sings, the times they are a-changin', times change, all of a sudden we flash forward and he's more famous than he's ever been. He can barely walk down the street, all that good stuff. It's Masters of War, the night of the Cuban Missile Crisis and all that good stuff. It's really strong, man. I'm a big fan. So I got A Complete Unknown here at 65.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I got it in here too. Definitely a little bit higher up. But man, yeah, it got me a lot more respect for Bob Dylan. I guess made me a fan of him without, I don't know, I still haven't, I guess, dove in too deeply into the music, but at least that viewing was pretty cool. I don't know. And he
can do some
but
Yeah, it's a little aimless, like we're just kind of floating, I feel like. But Dylan's kind of just floating, which I think is why we're doing it like that, At least that's how I can justify it. It's definitely...
He felt very go with the flow and just kind of like, well, I guess I'm famous now. And like, he didn't care. At least, I don't know if that's how he truly was, but that's how...
Right, well, and like, the means that he does care... Oh my goodness, hold on. I'm getting a call from the school district.
Yo.
Sorry, pal. Sorry about that, everybody. I was getting a call from the district. They don't have school again tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, fun stuff. I'm the one who gets those calls for some fucking reason in this house.
Damn, okay.
But, I'll have to tell everybody. But, yeah.
Snow week.
Yeah. Snow week indeed. They were supposed to go back to school on fucking Tuesday or something. And they're getting a couple extra days. But I think that Dylan does care to a degree about becoming famous, but it's like in the way that it's negatively impacting him. He's no longer able to be as free flowing as he was. The freewheeling Bob Dylan, and all of a sudden they're trying to put him in a box, and he's trying his best to do everything he can to not be put in a box, and that's why I think the movie's strong. So. Yeah, that's what I've got at 65.
Yeah, I dug it. We'll get to it in a couple weeks. Or I guess, is it? That'll technically... No, it will be next week. There's 2 parts every time. But, okay. Well, moving on here. Another warfare. I guess kind of... I didn't mean for this. 2 kind of warfare movies back to back. But we're not killing Nazis. We're going back a little bit further. During the Napoleon era, I guess, back this good old Napoleon, Ridley Scott's, and this one kind of similar feeling. I think maybe this is why I put them next to each other. Of kind of my expectations were a little bit higher for the movie, but this one I at least had to elevate it above Ungentlemanly Warfare because it looked so much better, like, and just the costume design, the whole everything. Like, this movie was. It looked great. Everyone was into their roles. It was just kind of the way the story kind of panned out, and that was a little different, I think. And it was just, man, I don't know. At some moments, it really just got... The theater experience was incredible.
Oh, the theater experience was fucking sick.
My God, yeah, just having like old... I don't know. I feel like there were so many old people in this the theater, and a lot of them were not liking it. I don't know. I feel like it was very interesting. I don't know, but at least throughout the time, I thought the looks kind of kept me in it alone, and just having the theater, just big screen and seeing the big, I don't know. They really built sets, that were incredible, and like you could just tell that this was just a legit set that they built, and there's no other way to do it. And yeah, I thought. I don't know, even like there were moments in the trailer of the army going over the ice and then shooting, like that's when the battle starts. And I'm like, oh, well, I guess I've already seen all that one and seen the surprise. But then once that scene came up, it was like, oh, no.
Whole new perspective. Yeah.
So
you think you're so great because you have boats. Yeah, I love the movie, man. And this is one where I don't have it in my top 100. But I did want to mention a massive blind spot for me when this came up, which is the Napoleon director's cut. Ooh. I need to watch... It's available on Apple TV now. I really need to watch the director's cut because Ridley Scott tends to up his fucking game in director's cuts.
That's true. That is true.
I do need to check that out bad. That's one of those ones where I think if I had watched it... I think the director's cut would be here because the original cut barely missed. It's aged really well for me. I remember walking out of the theater kind of confounded, kind of laughing, kind of giggly. Wow, that's quite the movie. But it ages really well with me, man. I think that I think it's strong.
Yeah, it was definitely memorable, I guess.
For sure.
I remember that
Vanessa Kirby is a fucking goddess, dude. She is incredible.
Oh, yeah. They did make her look very, very good too, and the real leader, at some point, like he went off and did his own thing for a little bit, but while she was there, dude was hungry,
bro was down fucking bad, and who wouldn't be for the Invisible Woman? That's our future It's our future Sue Storm there, Vanessa Kirby. So
Okay,
got
yeah.
that.
There
Looking
we
forward
go.
to that. But all right, cool. My 64. One of my latest additions in terms of just prior to us doing this, I got this in under the wire. This is where I have Kneecap. And I believe I texted you as soon as I watched this. It's directed by Rich Pepiat. It's a music biopic about a Irish rap group called Kneecap, and all three of the members are portrayed by themselves, which is super sick. And they are actually so exceedingly good that when I found out at the end they were portrayed by themselves, I was like, holy shit. Had no idea they were portraying themselves until the end of the movie. I thought these were actors acting like them, and they are actors acting like them. They're just acting like themselves. They were that good. They were much better than I ever expected them to be. And there's a lot of really, really cool ideas floated. Michael Fassbender's in this movie. He's really, really good in it. He plays one of the characters' dads. He's like an Irish revolutionary. And the premise is that the Irish Language Act is in the process of being on the floor. They're trying to figure out if they're going to pass it. And this rap group comes out rapping in Irish, in Gaelic, and they kind of revolutionize this thing without trying to. Like they become a political symbol without trying to. They were just trying to rap, you know. They were just trying to rap, and all of a sudden they've got these greater forces coming down on them for being who they are, and it's kind of like, well, fuck y'all, I'm gonna do me then. And it's really, really dope. About how hip hop is the language of revolution, and it's sick. There's like literally a monologue where the DJ, the producer of their group is like, hip hop became the language of the oppressed in America for the Black Americans, and we're trying to bring it to us, the Irish speakers of Ireland, and fuck the Queen, all that good stuff. It's good. A lot of pro Irish sentiment, a lot of anti-British sentiment, which we love. So I love. I don't want to speak for the both of us, but
I got 25%. 25% of me is Irish blood, so it's in there somewhere.
Irish.
I got the fight. I got the fight in me. But
you will dig this movie though. It's incredibly creative. Super. There's some really trippy imagery at points. It's great high viewing. And they can spit, bro. It goes crazy. Like they're good at rapping. It's a good hip hop group. So Kneecap.
The one thing that was coming up was another movie that had, I don't know if they were rap. I think they were rap. Rap group in the movie that you could kind of tell. Yeah, you guys aren't actors. Forefront was Chappie. The people who, I don't know what group or music group they were.
Yeah, the South African. Yeah.
And nothing against them. But it's just acting's just kind of, I don't know what I feel. You could just kind of tell a little bit more there, but here I don't know. It's
well, nice. And what was cool is that they were portraying themselves, so like there was just a really genuine authenticity about it that I dug from the performances anyway, and then realizing, oh, there's an authenticity here because they are literally just playing themselves. Does that make them more talented, less talented? I don't think it really matters. It was good, It was I really, really enjoy this movie, and it's one that I really want to revisit too. So, Kneecap, I floated it to you after I finished it. Like it should be our St. Patrick's Day episode in March. So, maybe we got that to look forward to. We can establish that later. But, Kneecap, 64.
Okay. Well, moving on here, 63. Felt like a nice homage movie to a certain underappreciated group in Hollywood, the stunt people. This was The Fall Guy.
Nice.
2024. Yeah. I think we caught this one with Timo, I think.
Yes, we did. Timo and his lovely fiance, McKenna.
That's right. Yeah. And man, I never thought of like the stunt category kind of like this, It definitely got me to think about it differently. And I hope there is something. Did some, I don't know, maybe I feel like something did happen. I don't know, or like a stunt. Maybe it was just Tom Cruise was given like an honorary something for some. I don't know. I don't know if it was, but that was before or after this movie. But regardless, I guess the movie itself was just kind of a cool, movie story of a dude just having to fill the role of I don't know, the guy just found dead. I forget how he died, or if it was one of the actresses, I think, in the movie, killed the dude, put him in a bathtub, found him. Yeah, I guess the little.
But he was like faking his death, and I can't even. No, the details are hazy, but it's David Leitch, man. There's a fun energy. It's a lot of it's big, it's flashy, it's neon lights, it's fun action, really strong stunt work. It has to be really strong stunt work if it's going to be a movie about that. And David Leitch was a stunt man, and that's like his whole thing. So it's really cool, man. I think that there's a lot to love about this movie. Ryan Gosling's a great deal of fun. Emily Blunt is a great deal of fun. I love the split screen sequence, where they do like a whole mirror thing, the whole episode, the whole part of the movie. It's cool.
That's right. Yeah. Man,
yeah. It's admirable. I think that I think I wrote it as like it insists upon itself a bit. The way Peter Griffin talks about The Godfather.
Yes.
It's indulgent. It does whatever it wants, sometimes to its benefit, sometimes to its detriment. Yeah. And that's kind of how the whole movie goes for me.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, Ryan Gosling is kind of like the actual cool version of Ryan Reynolds.
Much better at acting. Yeah.
It just I actually do appreciate, like, he kind of is a little similar-ish in his roles, and like you usually know what you're getting with Ryan Gosling, but it's like, ooh, no, I actually invite it.
Yeah, once he revealed that he's actually funny too. I don't know how Ryan Reynolds still gets work because you got a better option right there every time. That's kind of how I look at it.
Maybe he turns him down actually, and he's like, "No, that's actually below me." And Ryan Reynolds is like, "Oh, next in line,
I'm in there." Yeah.
Maybe every Ryan Reynolds movie is actually written for Ryan Gosling first, and then they're like, "Well, all right, let's go with the other Ryan." I just get the other Ryan in here.
Yeah, let's get the we'll call the one that's more talented in every capacity and better looking. And then we'll go from there. I did enjoy The Fall Guy a great deal. Not in my top 100 either, but definitely one that I had a really good time with. And another one that I am glad we caught on the big screen in IMAX, if I recall correctly. We did it up on that one too. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I think that came in the same stretch of days that we saw like The Phantom Menace in theaters together, and maybe there was one other. I can't remember, but
that sounds right.
I think it was early May. It was right around then. But yeah, no, that's a good pick. That's a good pick. I've got I didn't realize I went on a stretch here. 3 in a row that are music biopics.
Wow.
Kind of crazy. Completely accidental. No intention of this happening. All from 2024. I had a complete unknown at 65, Kneecap at 64, and my 63 is Maria. Which is about the opera singer Maria Callas, who I had, or Callas, I don't know, it's Callas, portrayed by Angelina Jolie, who should absolutely be getting an Oscar nom this year for Best Lead Actress, because she is fucking brilliant as Maria. I also had a Pablo Larraín movie, I believe, in part 2. Yeah, at 81, I had Spencer, about Princess Diana. This is kind of Pablo Larraín's bag. Long movies that are kind of boring and seemingly listless about really sad women. It's kind of how it goes. And Princess Diana, Maria Callas, he also did Jackie, about Jackie Kennedy with Natalie Portman. And Maria is, it is a beautiful movie to look at. Just visually stunning, and that and Angelina Jolie are all it really took for it to get this high for me. I'm kind of a sucker for this thing, where if you make not a long boring movie, but like it's barely over 2 hours, but because of how little happens, you kind of start to go like, man, this is getting a little long. But it's just always so good to look at, and Angelina Jolie is always on screen. So it's just kind of like, well, I'm not going to look away. I'm not going to not watch, because it's fucking gorgeous and brilliantly performed. And I'm a huge fan of Alba Rohrwacher, who we actually would have seen recently in La Chimera, as her sister directed it, Alicia Rohrwacher. she plays Bruna, who is kind of like her housemaid, and also her closest confidant, and like one of the only people looking out for her. Pier Francesco Favino plays Ferruccio, who is kind of another attendant, always around giving her medications and stuff and keeping track of what she's doing day to day and making sure that she's doing all right, because she is mentally unwell. She is not doing well, and physically unwell also. So it's a really, really compelling movie that is long and kind of drawn out and kind of boring, but by the end you're just kind of like, wow, that was beautiful, you know? And those are kind of my favorite. I love shit like that. So Maria had to come in at 63 here.
Okay. All right. Well, moving on to 62 is I don't know, a fun one. And a guy that I'm on the watch, and I'm in love with every movie that's kind of come out with him, Glenn Powell. This is Hitman 2023.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. This one, I kind of was a low expectation one that I went in just kind of like, yeah, I think I'm just throwing. What? Where did I first watch this? Was this?
This was for the podcast. We did a whole episode on this.
We did. That's right. I was like, man, why did I feel like we covered this? But I'm like, I was trying to think of the project that it would have been done.
It wasn't. It was an in-between one. It actually came at a time when I still had the kitty around, because the kitty was sick and I was not doing well, and I was like, I need some comfort. Let's watch Hitman. So it was during the horror project is what we were recording at the time. But the movie we were supposed to cover was Night of the Living Dead, and I was like, I don't know that I'm feeling that right now. So let's turn on the movie that immediately starts with like 4 fucking cats. How about it?
Damn. Yeah,
but yeah,
that really did happen, huh?
That did really happen, and I was like, "Damn!" A couple weeks ago when I watched this for the first time, I didn't have a cat, so I didn't even register that the cats existed. But that is Hitman, really great movie. Love Glenn Powell, love Adria Arjona.
Yeah, and I mean, it gave Glenn Powell. I don't know why I tripped up so hard, but gave him like an opportunity just to have so many different characters within one movie and just kind of show the range that this dude has. He just absolutely embodied any character that was thrown at him, and the montage at the end where he's just speed running through all of them was real good.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And Richard Linklater is a great director, man. I love Linklater.
Yeah, and I don't know. Adriana Arjona was looking great. Glenn Powell looking great. I mean, yeah, I was just
damn.
I
didn't want to show you Gary. Who the fuck is Gary? Yeah, I love this movie, man. So it's a little low on your list for me personally. I'm a little astonished this came up so soon. But
it was really high whenever I first watched. I remember like immediately loving this, and I think like on my 2024 list, it was even like pretty up high. And then there were some movies I think specifically on the 2024 list, and I'm like, ooh, I cannot confidently say that I like it more. And then I think from then it just kind of was like, okay, well, if it's below that movie, then it kind of has to be here. I get you. 60s for Hitman. I'm surprised. I won't lie, but I digress. We will get to Hitman again eventually. This is another one of those rare ones where lower on the list I have it above where you have it. But my 62. And I don't think I mean I might be wrong, but I don't think you have this one, and it's a comic book movie, which is potentially even rarer occurrence. Maybe you do have it, and maybe I'm underselling it. 2020's Birds of Prey, directed by Kathy Yan, the Margot Robbie led Harley Quinn film, the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn. I love this movie. I don't know what it is. Ever since I watched it for the first time, I've been incredibly taken by it. I think it is one of the most uniquely inventive and creative comic book movies. It actually feels like a movie, you know, it doesn't feel like corporate schlock. It feels like someone made something that they wanted to make, and Harley Quinn was the lead. And that's a lot of fun. I love Margot Robbie in that role, obviously. I think that she's incredible. Rosie Perez is in the movie. Mary Elizabeth Winstead's in the movie. Journey Smollett is in the movie, and Ewan McGregor is the villain. So like, let's fucking roll. I'm so down. A little bit of a character assassination for my girl Cassandra Cain, but that's neither here nor there. In the context of the movie,
The actress Ellie J Bosco does a really, really good job, but that's not Cassie. That's not Cassandra Cain. Doesn't matter though. It's whatever. I love this one though. I think that it is so exciting, so creative, so much fun. I love the whole playhouse fight at the end. I love Ewan McGregor getting to let loose as a fucking vile human. It's wonderful. I'm a lover of this movie. It's definitely one of my favorites. I love the whole police station sequence with the powder bomb she's shooting at people, the beanbag guns and stuff. She's having a great time. Run, piggy, run. It's a lot of fun. I love that stuff. So Harley Quinn's Birds of Prey had to be here, and it ends up being, I think, a top 2 comic book movie for me on the decade, which is kind of wild to put in context like that. But top 2 and top 2 DC. There's no more Marvel above it either. So Birds of Prey.
Dang, probably one that was just before I started logging on Letterboxd, but definitely I do like more than the comic book movies I've already said. That's for sure. So I think one that just slipped through the cracks here.
It happens
for the
it
decade,
happens.
But I'm glad it got mentioned though. And
it was very beginning of the decade. Like this was not just 2020, but early 2020. I believe it was release date. Yeah, January of 2020, and February was the theatrical release, which is crazy. So it's barely in this decade, but it is in this decade.
Okay, well, I'm actually sticking with you in the comic book vein. I got 2 more just to top off this episode, back to back here. But the first one will be Black Panther: Wakanda Forever here in 61, and kind of a weird. We didn't know like before going into this movie like how. Even what we want, I feel like I didn't even know what I wanted. I'm like, I don't even know if I want Chadwick or any, like a funeral, a funeral, that'd feel weird. And then like it literally opens up with like his funeral and like answering it immediately. It was just very conflicted feelings going into the movie. But I think they handled it pretty well.
They do a great job. It's a really good movie, man.
And just the whole, or did they call it Atlantis just straight up, or Namor's
no,
like? Or,
it's,
I feel
Namor's
like it was,
kingdom is. Oh, what's it fucking called?
Man,
that's gonna piss me off.
Kingdom, Talocan,
yeah,
Talocan. Okay, but no, the whole look of it I thought was really really cool. Like when he took his throne and we actually got down in there, and saw the visuals of it. But then I thought, just kind of the future that we're leaving, with the young T'Challa there, and just a few, the future Shuri, I'm hoping is still taking over and a big part in what we got to come next.
Seeming like she will be. I'm pretty sure Black Panther 3 just got greenlit also.
Denzel.
I saw that recently. That's true. I completely forgot about that news. Yeah,
he is the Black Panther. I would that'd be sick. In some way that he just. I don't even know who, or like, is it you think like ancestral plane? He'll be like an older version of T'Challa.
It's an original. My money is it's an original character. I don't think he'll be. I don't even think he'll be an existing Marvel character. I think that they're gonna go with a whole other route for Denzel. Kind of warrants that treatment.
Yeah,
but. This is a really, really strong movie with a really strong, a huge task, hard to pull off.
Yeah.
And I think they did, man. I think they did. It's really, really strong. I love Angela Bassett. She does an incredible job, as the Queen Mother. 100% deserving of that Oscar nod. Would have sooner chose her over Jamie Lee Curtis, but hey, fuck it.
Yeah. That's a weird one. Still.
Yeah, I'll never be okay with that. That's just like literally every other person in the category was more deserving, which is why it's just so fucking irritating.
The thing I'll remember always about Wakanda Forever is that there was a bulge removal. Too much bulge for Namor. CGI removed bulge. Crazy. I don't know. I guess makes sense though. You don't. I mean, it is.
There's only so much you can do when you got the trunks going.
Yeah. It's but I don't know. I feel like there was like a fight of like, no, free the bulge, or like
release the bulge cut.
Bulge cut. Oh my god, that's incredible. That's the first time I think I've heard the bulge cut. But
the bulge cut.
yeah,
Gotta
no,
have the bulge cut. But
maybe one day. But no, it was
yeah,
still great.
Winston Duke as M'Baku is always really, really fun. I like him a lot. And there's just a lot to like there, man. It is, and it's a pretty movie. One of the rare MCU movies that has a really strong visual identity. Like just all the water stuff is gorgeous, dude. Like there's an overhead shot I remember of them like fighting in the water. And I just remember all the splashing, like the white foamy water splashing at people and the people in the middle of like throwing shit. It's good looking. So, yeah, Ryan Coogler really did his thing with Wakanda Forever, but yeah, I do not have it here. Which does feel a little like it probably could have been here somewhere. But
in this upper tier, that's for sure. Like this it's even separated from that middle tier that was above the even lower.
Yeah,
so,
you're like, no, it's a different league for sure. But all right, my 61 is a little bit more comfort. One that I love to watch. It's called Palm Springs, another 2020 release, directed by Max Barbaco. It's got Andy Samberg and Kristen Milioti. It's rom-com that has sort of a Groundhog Day premise. You know, they live the same day over and 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 over again until they figure out what they need to do to get out of it. And they live their life so many times. And the premise is that Andy Samberg has been stuck in this loop, and then Kristen Milioti also gets stuck in it eventually. So them kind of realizing they're both stuck in it and them do it like oh shit, okay, let's figure this out together, and the rom-coms between them, and they get like a lifetime in this movie that's only 90 minutes because they live this many days together and over and over and over again. So it's really sweet. It's really, really funny, worth anybody's time. So much fun. Palm Springs at 61. But
I definitely would not want to live the same day over and over with Kristen Milioti. What if there's any gods in this universe? Don't put that curse on me.
Never do that to me. If there was one person who I had to spend every second of every day together over and over and over again, don't make it Kristen Milioti. Obviously, we're trying to jinx it.
So
if
that's
there's
what
anybody on Earth I would be with Kristen Milioti.
Is that what the movie's about? Is that Andy Samberg eventually realizes, like, wait, why do I break this curse? He's like, hold on a second, let me actually.
Well, it's complicated. There's a lot going on. Because the very premise that he's already been living the same day for who knows how long by the time she joins him, means that he's already done a bunch of stuff that like just like morally is unsound, you know? Like it's like what are the ethics in a scenario like that? How much can you get away, like, because like you live the same day over and over, there's no consequences, you start the day over again. What has he done that he shouldn't have done, and all that good stuff.
Okay. Wow, that one does seem cool. I don't know. Cool. I like.
Yeah, definitely an original take on the Groundhog Day, same day again thing, because that's been done into the ground. That's been done so many times, but they managed to keep it fresh. But before we get to our final installment of the 60s, before we get to 60 out of 100, I wanted to do a little information on the giveaway. The giveaway continues to grow a little bit, little by little. We are getting there. We are giving away a Criterion Blu-ray copy of both Paris is Burning and Certain Women. It's both brilliant movies. I actually ended up watching Paris is Burning yesterday during the snow day. Unbelievable documentary. Just a beautiful, beautiful film. Worth anybody's time. You got to watch it in Certain Women. I've watched a couple times now. Gorgeous movie as well. And along with those, you could get a Letterboxd patron status. And Letterboxd Wrap came out today. If you're not on there, you're missing out a little bit, because I got my stats that I can look at year round. That if you don't have a membership, you're not going to be able to look at it. So like, the Wrapped's no surprise to me. I knew what was coming on my Wrapped because I had that information in advance, because that's what a Letterboxd patron membership gives you. So you have a chance to get a free one on us, $50 a year, and you can get it from me for free. So, at least for 1 year only. I'm not going to pay for it forever. Fine print. But the way you enter is simple. There's a graphic available on Blue Sky at Colton Robertson. You can check it out. It's my pinned post. Look at it. It gives you all the details. But the basics are this. You subscribe on YouTube. The Cinementalists. Look it up. Subscribe there. We are now available on YouTube Music, so you can listen there. It's a lot of fun. Go ahead and check that out. Subscribe there. And then the other detail is that you have to download at least one episode. If you do those two things, you got an entry. And then every additional episode you download is an additional entry. We've got like 30-something episodes of the show. You could have 30-something entries if you want. The other things you can do to gain additional entries is liking and reposting that on Blue Sky, responding and tagging somebody on Blue Sky, and all of that on Blue Sky at Colton Robertson. You got to subscribe on YouTube. You got to download an episode. That'll get you in. We've got a few people in the contest right now, and you should be there too. But yeah, go ahead and check that out. The winners will be announced on March 3rd, the day after the Oscars. So we're looking forward to that. You can check that out there. And go ahead and give me the 60 spot on your top 100.
Okay, well, actually, you've already said it, and it's another comic book movie, but this is where I have Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Beautiful.
And yeah, kind of for the same reasons as you, of why I kind of felt a little lower. It's not at the tippy top of my comic book list, like I kind of expected it to be before I went in there, and maybe that was part of the problem, is I did have very, very high expectations for this one, because the first
Coming
one
off
was,
maybe the greatest Spider-Man movie of all time, who can blame you?
Yeah, so, and what we got wasn't bad, like that, and it's this weird balance of that, yes, the movie itself is good, but it's just incomplete right now, and like whenever the other part comes out, I'm sure it'll hold up to the same standard that this one did, but just complete the story, and it just didn't feel as fulfilling as the first one. But I mean, still, I think it's, I don't know, the in the real world, you know, just Haley Steinfeld actually getting married, you know, or engaged, sorry. And then just having actual what's the one sad song of the soundtrack? Oh my God, I'm not scared of the dark. I feel like I don't know.
I'm not running. No, I'm not afraid to fall.
I guess I wasn't super in on like just the outside of the movie, but like every Spider-Man just tries to get with the MJ, or like I don't know, whatever. I feel like, and yeah, this is the one that didn't work out, you know, and in real life, but that's okay, you know. We the movie, I wonder if there will be an awkward tension in the next movie, like in the with. Just there would be a noticeable difference of chemistry, I'm wondering, in the third one, or if they can get, you know, or if it's I don't know, if it's not even that big of a deal.
I don't
Maybe
know.
it's just
Shamik Moore's got a lot of other stuff going on beyond that.
Okay, so it wasn't just okay. I guess I'm not too in the know, anyways. It was just more of the immediate like memes after her engagement was announced, and then it's just, I don't know, I feel like anytime anyone famous gets engaged, it's like, well, my life is over, and like,
right,
you know,
right.
So at least there's that sect of people, but yeah, this it's not at the tippy top of my comic book movies. That'll come a little bit later, but yeah, I don't know, I definitely expected it to be the top Spider-Man movie even of the year, but it wasn't. But yeah, I don't know. It tops off this list, I guess. Of this episode. But yeah, Into the Spider-Verse for me at 60.
All right, I dig it. My 60s, and you had it, in my opinion, way too low at 63. This is where I have Hitman.
Whoa.
Directed by Richard Linklater.
Okay.
Yeah, no. So I was giving you shit a little bit ago, just because I knew I had it at 60 here.
Okay. I see. Wow, that's that's rare. I guess the first in the same episode.
In the same episode, we got an overlap here. Yeah, it's one that I do love a great deal, but we're at a point now where I love the rest of these, man. It's they are all fucking special, and this one was just teeming with sexual chemistry between Arjona and Glenn Powell. One of those movies that I'm watching with just the stupidest fucking grin on my face. Just pure bi-panic the whole time watching Hitman. It's so good. I do love it. I think that just the very premise is so fun, and the way that they pull it off is even more fun. You know, being the person you want to be and making that happen and doing it the most fucked up way possible. You know, it's so great. I think that there's a lot to love, and Linklater is a great filmmaker. Glenn Powell gets to act his ass off, and Arjona gets to be a lot of fun. So I think that, you know, the whole phone scene is so incredible. The notes app scene, one of my favorites. Them going back and forth. It's really strong, you know, and they've got unbelievable chemistry. Some of the best of the year. So some of the best of the decade, I would argue. So had to get Hitman in here, and yeah, didn't quite break the top. It just barely breached the top 60, I guess. But yep, 60 here, Hitman, and that concludes part 4 of the top 100. Go ahead and run that back for me. 60 through 69. What do you got?
All right. 60, I had Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. 61, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. 62, Hitman. 63, The Fall Guy. 64, Napoleon. 65, The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. 66, Wonka. 67, Blonde. 68, Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire. And 69, Intergalactic.
Beautiful. I had 60, Hitman. 61, Palm Springs. 62, Birds of Prey and the Emancipation of One Fantabulous Harley Quinn, or however the fuck you say it. 63, Maria. 64, Kneecap. 65, A Complete Unknown. 66, Problemista. 67, Bottoms. 68, Shiva Baby. And 69, Soul. And with that, we can conclude this episode, and you can come on back Friday for my 25th birthday. We will be covering Willow, the Ron Howard directed 1988 film starring Val Kilmer and Warwick Davis and Joanne Whalley. It's a lot of fun, great fantasy stuff. If you've never watched it, you should, and you should check out our episode this Friday. And we'll be back with the next 2 parts of our top 100, parts 5 and 6, going over the 50s and then breaching the top 50 in those next Friday. You got to check it out. Follow me on Blue Sky at Colton Robertson for more details on that giveaway. Get any updates on anything we might be doing over there. Let's see. What else can you do? You can leave a 5-star rate and review and download wherever you might be listening. Download, baby. That's the name of the game. We would appreciate that greatly. But yeah, I think that's about that. Skeleton Crew. Coming to a conclusion next week, and we'll be covering it on Fulcrum, a Star Wars podcast next week also. So you got to be there. You got to check it out. Thoughts and prayers to all of our LA homies. Anybody in the midst of the wildfire that's ugly, happening in the country's most populated county, which is insane. So, hoping for the best for everybody there. And yeah, bless you. Hopefully everything turns out, because something's got to change with the way we treat our climate. I'll tell you that. Things just keep getting worse. It's not a lot of fun. So thoughts and prayers to everybody in the Palisades and all you folks down there suffering through a wildfire, and my hopes with everybody around the world suffering any injustice or anything. So yeah, but yeah, I think we will conclude this episode of The Sentimentalists. We'll be back Friday, and we'll be back the Friday after that. So with that, I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, it's always a pleasure to have you. And hey, go ahead and watch some Hitman, why don't you? And go ahead and check our old episode out on it over on the Penny Bloom podcast. You won't be disappointed. We got a double up on this one. That's a rarity. But yeah, have a nice day, everybody. Bye-bye.